All right, YouTube, here it is, the Tesstudio Center Console Edition. Just installed it. The installation portion is coming up after this. Just want to show you how cool this thing looks. Let me just show you just some of the fitment here and how this comes together, and kind of show you what I had before this. I'll link some of my videos and what I had before this, but it's just YouTube. Here is my current setup, which I've discussed before in my previous videos. I'm going to go ahead and replace it with the new Tesstudio center console. All right, so this is what I'm using currently, this thing here, which I really like, but I'm going to remove this to put this new console that's going to fit into here. I'm going to lose this part though, which I really like. I like this kind of look here. But I think it's going to be worth it. It's going to look cool, but just want to show you my initial setup here before I replace it. For this, but this just looks really cool. I mean, it looks like it just should have been part of the truck. Now, it did take away from some of the coolness factor that this was open here, but I'd rather have something like this. It just looks really cool. And so this area here you can close, and you get two additional cup holders there for water bottles. You have addition here, so you can put larger water bottles. Of course, we have here the original water bottles. You have an area here. You can a little pass through, but you can put some hide some things under there too. If you haven't, my wife has a work cell phone, so she just wants to hide there. Possibly had a little wallet or purse there, but that's pretty much how it's looking here. I like this material here, this little design that it comes with. It goes in pretty deep there. You can put your phone in here. You can put other things there. Let me show you the other side. And so here we go. So I think you may be limited on what you can put here as far as water bottle, but let's see what you can put here. Oh, actually fits. That's a pretty large water bottle. Let's put it on there. That's actually pretty cool. Now, if you wanted to put something larger like this, that just goes on here. Main room will roll around in there, but I mean that fits just fine. You still have a compartment up here to put something else. It doesn't affect this area. You can see here, little hidden compartment. I just wish these were a little nicer. These inserts, they're just kind of loose, and I might have to find a better way to get them to stay on. Might have to heat them up or something and put it out in the sun. That I think we could. That's the only thing about this. I think we could have done a little better job on, or put some original padding like this here in a cup holder. That's just doesn't cost too much to put that padding in there. But look, I can already fit that in. I can have a compartment here to put this in. This again has that insert that I'm not too crazy about, but this is a little flimsy here, but it's fine. It works. Just one other concern here. I kind of kept saying that I felt like some of this stuff in here and here and in here should have this felt material in there, because it's just plastic in here and just this padding. This is going to roll around and hit plastic. It would be nice if it had more padding on the side and kind of similar to this. So I think this thing is really, really nice. I think just to solidify that this is a great product, and add more of a premium feel. It's just that to have, instead of plastic here, put more felt like you do here. So if things do roll around, it's not going to make noise, and it's just a better feel, better fit. And I don't know, that mat there is fine, but I'd rather have more felt like this. But this part here is really good. The fitment here, you can kind of see how this comes together. It just looks really cool. It kind of looks like it's a continuation of the truck, or of the interior. That looks really cool here. And what's cool is that you can maintain this under screen storage here. That's really cool. I really like that. Now, if you have a swivel, you can't put the under screen storage. I'm okay with that. A swivel, I don't need it to swivel. even though Tesstudio has a new swivel mount that does not bring down your screen, which is kind of cool for those of you that were waiting for that. But I'm fine with it being here, just without swiveling. So yeah, this is it. It looks really cool. Here's what it looks like down below here. It's nice I can fit those big bottles back there. That's really huge. Plus, and this area here would be for my coffee. Now I can put my phone here. I can put it here. I can hide it way back there. I can put all kinds of other things here if I wanted to. It's just really cool. It just kind of has that truck feel of, you know, just having a lot of components here, a lot of storage space here. So that's really cool. How is it on your leg? Yeah, it's just fine. Let me bring up this chair here. Yep, not a problem. And this, you know, it just kind of comes out a little bit past the original, but it's not an issue. And it gives you a kind of area for your leg to kind of sit on, so it's not sitting on this thing on here on the original part. So yeah, this is just fine. Yeah, my armrest here, everything's kind of reachable there. Well, I would say great job, Tesstudio. You did a great job. Looks good, fits well. Install was fairly easy. I'll show you the install process next. My only thing that I had issues with, I mean, the hardest part actually was once you get all the components in place and the screws on one side, then you would think it would be easy. You just have to put this side on. But what I had to do is I just had to make sure that I align this part here first. And then when it comes to these components, this is the hardest part here. I just have to make sure I can see the holes in there. I use a headlamp with so I can align the holes there, so I can just visibly see the holes to bring it together. And I think what made it a little harder for me is that I tightened those areas first, and I did them pretty tight. And so I don't make them too tight, so that you can give a little bit more mobility here to get these aligned better. But other than that, yeah, it looks kind of cool. I like this look here. Yep. Otherwise, great job, Tesstudio. Guys, here it is. Just came in from Tesstudio. This will be the Teststudio's lower center console kit. I've been anticipating this for quite some time. There's been other companies that have been looking to make a kit like this, but Tesstudio kind of beat them to it here, and I'm happy to get my hands on it. So let's unbox it and see what it's all about, okay? Here it is. You guys can get a closer look here at the kit. It's a lower center console from Tesstudio. Get a better look at that. Okay. All right, let's take all the accessories out and see what it's all about here, okay? We got our install kit. I think it's, I've seen some other online videos, so I think I'll be able to put this on pretty easily, but this is their instructions here. So this is kind of what the kit looks like. This is pretty cool. This is going to be kind of the main center console kit here. You can see the cool design that it has in there. I was actually looking forward to it, so it looks really cool. It looks kind of premium there, so that's going to be pretty awesome. What are you liking the way it's looking? This looks like a cup holder. looks pretty decent, good quality. Looks like we're getting a screwdriver with it, and you got the screws here, screwdriver and the screws here. See where that goes. There's another, I think that's probably a mat that goes in here, it looks like. Alright. There's another, looks like a longer mat that goes in here. Okay. Alright. This is what this looks like on the side. And pretty much all we're going to do is going to be installing these screws in here. Okay, last part. This looks like it's going to be part of container here that goes kind of in the back area. Or, I'll kind of show you how this all fits together. And it's nice that they all have some type of a mat that goes inside, which is nice. It would have been nice if they all kind of had like a felt material inside all throughout, like kind of like how the cup holder does. Kind of like that, but at least there's a mat in there, which is nice. So here are all the parts. Okay, and we're gonna kind of put these all together and just screw them. All right, so that's it right there, which is not too bad. The parts kind of go all. You can kind of place them all next to each other, and then you just pretty much secure them with those side panels there. So shouldn't be too difficult to install. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is remove. First, I got to remove this component here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be painful because I put a little bit of Velcro thing down here. Let me go ahead and remove that. As I removed both of these components and that down there. And just so you guys know, I did have kind of a double-sided Velcro on here to kind of keep these from moving around. Same thing with this. I kind of added that Velcro right there. So let me show you guys here. So just an added kind of pro tip there, if you want things to kind of stay on without really moving. That's really a nice component to add, and it sticks onto the plastic of the Tesla just fine up there. And down below there. So yeah, now it's pretty much almost back to the stock look there. Now let's go ahead and start installing. It's pretty darn easy how to install this. I think what we would do first is we attach the 3 units, this top part here, and then the cup holder, and then it looks like you attach this first and this back part there, this part here, and that part there first, and then you put this cup holder thing in the middle. Once you do that, you can grab just one of those and just essentially just bolt it in. Once you do that, then you pretty much have most of the components secured in. Then you can start working on the top part, which looks like you can start adding this top part in here, that part there, and then this would go on top of there. So once you start adding these components to it, then you can pretty much start finishing up the screws on that one end, and then once you've done that, you have pretty much the whole one side screwed. And then next step is just really just to get that other component or the other side piece there and just screw it on. So the initial step again, you get these ideas, you get some of these components in as it's shown, and just start screwing them in one by one with just one of these, and then that kind of secures it in. And the last step, you just really just have to bring the other part and the screws on. It pretty much tells you how to do it right here on the box, which is pretty funny. It kind of tells you how all the components align. So this is not difficult by any means. Okay, let's get started here. So the first component is going to be this part here. It's going to sit just like that. Okay, and then the second component is going to be this. Oh, by the way, guys, before I just took a towel there and just cleaned this off, because this is, I'm gonna have this in for a while. Just make sure to give that a clean so it's not, you don't have dirt building up in there, because you're not gonna take this off for a while. So that is the second component there. Okay, and you can see they do have some padding, inserts here. I'm gonna make sure that insert is in there nicely. Okay. Okay, so once again, just this insert kind of, it's in there. It's not really staying out. You might want to heat it up maybe a little bit to have it stay, but that's kind of how it is now. I think it'll mold at some point. And I could leave it out in the sun, but for today's purposes, I'm just going to install it. I can always remove it later on. So attach this unit here. Now the last part, and you kind of see these little grooves here, where this component is just gonna stick. It just kind of slides in there. You see that? So that's pretty much it. Now the main thing at this point, I think you just want to make sure they're aligned here. Just make sure that they have them aligned. Okay. So now, let me make sure this side is aligned as well. Yep. All right. So this side is aligned. So that's really the component right there, just to give you a look there. So now we're gonna come in with that side panel and just screw it in. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've come back now with this panel, which I think is the right panel. I don't know if it says anywhere where it's right or left, but it doesn't look like it. I think you can kind of just tell from the pic. Yeah, so now I think I'm gonna put this seat all the way back, so I have room to work with. All right, so I think that's gonna just slide in there like this somehow. Let me see here. Let me try to work with this and see how I can slide it in there. Okay. That's kind of interesting. There we go. There we go. So now that I got that in there, I'm going to get my screwdriver that it came with. Now you can use a drill, an electric drill if you wanted to, but I'm going to try to put this on here without that. Let's see if this lines up. Okay, so that lined up. Nice. That's a tight fit. It's not going anywhere. So that's kind of nice that these just line up. Let me try this one up here. This doesn't look like it's... Let's see here. Right, that looks like that's lining up too. There we go. That's tight. That is very easy. You guys can kind of see all that. Let's put this in here. Put all these here. This doesn't look like it's lining up. But there we go. Now that's in. All right, that is in. What I don't know is if this is, let's see here if that's aligned right. Just trying to make sure that this part doesn't have to hang off or not. Looks like it just sits right flush on top of it. So that looks like it's, let's go onto the other side and just double check. Let's pull this all the way back. Okay, let's go here. Okay, it looks like it's all in so far. Okay, so this part's kind of hanging out a little bit here, but let's see if that, once we put it all together, that's going to change in any way. All right, let's go back to the other side. My videos are a little long. I kind of like to show you guys all the little details, because some of the videos out there, they just kind of install it and say, hey, there you go, that was it. Pretty easy. But kind of want to show you all the hiccups I might run into and my concerns along the way. But what's nice about these is that these will stop screwing in. I mean, you really get a tight fit. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, last one on this side for the bottom part. Okay, so now we have secured this in from this one side here. So we haven't put the top part in. You can see this part's kind of loose here, but the real idea is we got these components in and they're secured on the bottom. So now the next step, as we look here, is once you have that secured in, now you're pretty much going to go, once you have these bottom parts secured, now we're going to install the top parts. And we're going to screw that top part in so that we can finalize this end here. And then, the part that goes kind of in the top middle there, and we'll screw that in. Then we'll do the very top part, and then we'll screw that in, and then essentially put the other side on. So very, very easy so far, guys. All right, let's put on the other piece. Step is we put this part in like so. Let me just be sure that's correct. Okay, that's going to go in like that. Now this is kind of going to be a little tricky here, because this is going to, we have to make sure this goes to the screw here. Probably going to be the trickiest part here. This moved, sorry. I was able to get this on. I just started wanting to put just one end of the screw matched up here. That was the hardest part. Now I got to put the second screw here, and then make sure this part is in. So far this has been the hardest part, but really not hard at all. Just because I got to match up the screws, because it's free floating. So let's put that other screw in. Yeah, that's not getting it. You're gonna have to feel around and make sure the screw is getting in there. There we go. That's good. That's where we're at. All right, so got that part in. Got this part in here. Not hard, but you just have to kind of by feel make sure you have them in there. You're gonna have to put your finger in there and make sure you put the screw in there, because as you can see, it's kind of free floating here, this part. Yeah. So, but I got the screws in on this side, so it's secure now to this. Again, this thing is kind of floppy here. I might have to put it out in the sun. I'll do that later. Okay. So now the next step is that we got to put this thing in there, and then as you can see, this has 3 screws. Okay, so it's going to coincide with these 3 screws here. Okay, so let's get that in there. I would say the trickiest part is just making sure you get these screws to match up. Let's see how this goes. This part was kind of sticking up here, so you just have to kind of push it in to match up. Push it in there, and then put the screw in. Okay, so. I'm going to try to record this while I'm putting the screw in. Is it catching? Yeah, it's catching. Okay, good. Good. There we go. See how that went in nicely? So I would say that I've aligned that well. And that first screw is in. Let's go with the second screw. Let me get this a little more higher here. Okay, the second one in. Once it catches, it'll just align and close up nicely. As this is really easy to get. I mean, the alignment on here is just so nice. The kit just comes together really well. I love when that happens. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's it. This side is done. Guys, that was really simple. I've pretty much been recording the entire time here. This is very easy. That's it. Now I just got a last step is we go secure the other side. This is how this fitment comes together here. It's very nice. Again, these are kind of flopping up, these inserts, but I just have to put them out in the sun. I'll probably do that now while I'm installing the other part. All right, let's put on the other side. Okay guys, let's now go on to this last part here. Got my chair all the way back. And let's see if we can fit this in here somehow. Now I do have my safe in here from Tesstudio, so it might make it a little tricky to get in, but let's see if we can work it out. Put the chair all the way back. All right. Let's remove the tray. Let's see if that may help out as well. Tricky. All right, just gonna have to sneak it in there somehow. It's not too hard. All right, that's it. I kind of just came in from this back end first, just put that back in first, and then kind of bring the other side, the back side in. So it wasn't not too difficult. Okay, so now as you can see, the whole thing is pretty much in. I really just have to screw all the panels here. All these panels got to screw them, but that's it. It's pretty much in. That's it. That looks really, really cool. And the best part, I get to preserve this. I don't have a swivel on here because I just really the ones previously they lowered the screen. Tesstudio actually has a new one that does not lower the screen, but I'm gonna probably still hold off because I just, for stability reasons and the fact that I can keep this on there, even though I don't really need it with this, but I really like the way this looks. So for that reason, I'm gonna keep it without the swivel for those two reasons. But what's cool is that you can see here, this unit allows this to keep this under screen storage in, which is awesome. There's still plenty of room here as well, so that's really nice. I made sure with Tesstudios that won't be an issue, and as you can see, it is not an issue. So I'm just gonna put these screws in, and then we will be done. Let's put this back in. Let's take my tray. All right. Let's see how easy these screws go in. easy. I mean, once this is aligned, it's just super easy. There's no issue. I mean, the ports just align extremely well. So I know I'm making you watch all this, but I'll fast forward. So yeah, super easy. Now, I want to get to this area here. This thing is still sticking out, so I'm going to bring this down, see if I can. It's a little area of concern I had because it was sticking out. But let's see how if this will take. That's not taking. Let's see why. Let's see here. Okay, now this is kind of causing me a little bit of a problem here. Make sure that this aligns. I'm gonna pause the video here, try to get in here a little, and just try to troubleshoot because I'm having a bit of a hard time getting these ones to align. So let's see if I can troubleshoot it. Alright guys, this proved to be a little harder than I thought getting these aligned. So I got one of these headlights, and I'll show you what I did in just a sec. So what I did is I had to use the headlight, and I had to just be sure that I can see the hole inside there. I don't know if that's how that's going to come up on tape, but on the video, but you kind of have to make sure you align that. You're just going to have to make sure you align this and be able to see the hole. Can you see the hole there? But that's pretty much the best way to do it. Otherwise, it's kind of difficult to get them aligned. So same goes with these two. I'm going to have to do the same thing and just really use a light to see where the holes are. So interesting that this kind of was the hardest part of it. You would think after everything is aligned that everything would kind of go good together, but I think the trick is probably maybe not tie down everything tightly on the other side, the first side, and I think that's kind of the general rule that you always do when you put things together. I just thought I would do that just because it would probably make everything stick or everything kind of come together better if I did that. But maybe when you guys try to do it, try not to tie it down or screw it down too tight, so you can get this side a little bit easier. Yep. Okay guys, here it is. It's all done. Let me get out of the zoom here. Okay, so here it is. Let me move this out. I think it looks pretty darn good. Get in here. I just think that looks really good. That just looks really cool. So, I mean, I can put my sunglasses in here if I wanted to, down below here. I can put my phone here if I wanted to. There's even a storage compartment down below there. It goes pretty darn deep. If you might want to put your sunglasses in there, or kind of more your expensive sunglasses, or something you want it to hide. That's it right there. That's it. It looks really good. And again, this texture here just looks really good. You can kind of see the texture there. And as it goes on down below here, let's see, I'll show you what it looks like down below here. So, looks good. Let's go on to the other side. I have these out in the sun. It's kind of like later in the day, so it's not going to be great. But there it is. There it is, guys. Looks awesome. So you have storage here, you got storage here, you can hide things there, you got all the storage up here. Alright. Put this in here, and we'll click in here. Probably have that mold later on. Put that in there as well. That's it. We're done. I just wish, the only thing I wish is that this part would have been a little nicer instead of having this piece, and it would just had some nicer material already in there. There's that. Same thing with here. I mean, it's nice to have this. It's nice that it was added, but it would be nicer if this came with a nicer material like what's in here, like some padding in here. That would be a little bit nicer. Now, how rigid is this? How's the fitment here? That's not bad. I mean, it moves a little bit, but it's in there. It's not going anywhere. And that looks pretty awesome. There we go. So now you can put larger water bottles in here. Yeah, there you go. Nice job, Tesstudio.